Hello everyone, I'm Morali and welcome to my end of the year / new year preview. So I kind of wanted to make a video and wrap up everything we've done over the last year together. All the things we've played through, all the things that we kind of experienced, all the videos that I've made, all the stuff we've talked about, and kind of talk about the things that I want to do for the next coming year. I'm recording this right before New Year's Eve, but it probably won't come out after New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year to everyone, and let's get started. So I'm gonna have this video in 3 sections. I'm gonna have the review section, then I'll talk a little bit about what we're currently doing, which isn't too much because we're kind of like, I'm kind of taking a little break on a lot of the things, and then I want to talk to you guys about the stuff that I've planned for the future. So let's get into the review stuff. I first want to talk about the live streams. So everything we've played on the live streams, and I'm gonna mention these things really quick. I mean, if you guys want to see them, you're more than welcome to look through the channel and stuff. I want to talk about the live streams we've made and the things we've played through, and I will only really mention the things that we played through completely, not the little one-offs that we did. Pokemon Unite, we had a couple episodes, you know, those things. I'm not going to really mention those things, you know, all the festivals we did in Guild Wars, like those things I'm not going to really mention because that's not like a real playthrough. That's not like a complete thing that I finished. So I just want to mention the things that I have completed. So first up, we have the Guild Wars 2 personal story. I went through early in the year and did the whole personal story with you guys on a Revenant, and that was super fun, and we finished all of that. And I did like overworld stuff, like going around the maps and stuff and finishing that. Then I completed Freelancer, which was awesome because a lot of people have been commenting on the review and stuff that I've been doing. A lot of people have been looking for like Star Citizen and talking about the Discovery mod, which is really awesome. That's still really great. So if you're interested in like that type of stuff, like sci-fi shooters in space, that was super fun. I had a great time doing that. And then we had a small little game that was called Air Memories of Old, which is like this indie game, really short. I had like 3 or 4 episodes or something of that. We played through that. That was really cute. Then we did a bunch of Pokemon stuff. So I did the original Pokemon Snap. We did Pokemon Stadium. We kind of played through all of that, and that was really cool. I had like an awesome time doing that. Then we played the new Pokemon Snap. That was really cool. We did Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Then I did Guild Wars 1 Factions. So that was really cool because going into 2022, of course, we're getting End of Dragons, so that's something that I'm really looking forward to. So playing through all of that, I actually did a run through of like vanquishing all the stuff in Cantha as well in Guild Wars 1, so that was cool. And then of course we had the Guild Wars 2 Pacifist run, which just recently completed, and that was a long project that took me very many months to get through, but it was super fun, and it was just a little challenge run that I did. And yeah, so that was the pretty much all the complete live streams of all the things we've done, which I think is pretty good because there was a few times in between where, like I said, we just did random streams and stuff, but for the things that we have completed, I think that's like a pretty big list, and I had some really awesome times doing all that stuff. Now to the actual playthrough videos that I've uploaded, so there was only 2 things. The 2 big playthroughs that I did this year was Digimon World 2003, which ended up having like almost, I think like 50 episodes or 50 something episodes, and then we had the Grandia playthrough as well, which that was an hour long. They were not half hour, but they were an hour long episodes, and that went into like the 30s or 40s or something as well. So those were like really long playthroughs. I didn't do like a review of Grandia because not very many people watch the series, and like I said, I kind of had this like lapse in time where I recorded all of the episodes and then I didn't upload them until like months later, and then I didn't want to do a review like months later after all of it was done, so I kind of let it go, and that was kind of my fault. And I did say I was going to do that, and I didn't do that, but I think overall still you did kind of get my impression if you watched the very last episode. I get kind of emotional a little bit about it and stuff, so, but it was still great fun. 2 of my favorite games for the console for PlayStation 1 that I played back then. So then next up, I want to talk about the videos. So videos that I've released, discussions that I've started, and so on and so forth. So the first one that I have was about the stars, the dragons, and the celestials in Guild Wars 2, and kind of starting a discussion about how these things could influence the story of Guild Wars 2 with the dragons and all that stuff. That was really cool. Then one that's one of my favorite videos of all time actually is the deep sea dragon theory that I had. I went really deep on the like theory that I had on the origin of like Cantha and the deep sea dragon and how they're like tied together and stuff like that. That was really cool, and there was actually a second part. I'll talk about that in a minute. Then we had the underwater expansion discussion, something where I said, you know, we're dealing with the underwater dragon, we're going underwater, and we haven't really heard anything about underwater. So I kind of touched on all the things underwater, like Quaggan, Crate, Naga, Largos, like all those things we talked about in that video. So that was really cool. Then I talked a little bit about the feature that I was thinking for End of Dragons to come out, which I was like completely wrong on, but still thought it was worth talking about. Then we had the map discussion, which again, that kind of was thrown for a loop because they're doing like a little bit different thing, but I still think it was worth talking about the different areas because I remember talking about a lot of like specific like areas, specific like points of interest, so to say, on the map on Cantha and stuff. So that was really nice. Then I did my big Elite Specialization Speculation number 2. It was a whole set. It was a long video. My most viewed video, it's like at 25,000 views, which is like amazing. I mean, it's just really crazy, blows me away, and had like huge reactions from people on the comments and stuff, and that was really fun. You know, that was prompted by all the reviews pretty much that I got from the first set that I made, so that was really good. Then I made a video, a little bit of a ranty video with the new player experience thing, where I kind of was complaining about how ArenaNet doesn't really teach new players how to play the game and those types of things, and they're kind of actually looking at that from what I can see with the training grounds and stuff. And people have said, yes, it's a little bit too late now that we're going into an expansion, we should have this in the beginner areas, and I have talked about this before, but I just like that they're looking at something to teach people the different mechanics. It's a step in the right direction, I think. Next up, we have the review of the first look. That was the like a big stream that was amazing because I had a ton of people viewing me too. I remember that was a great, I love that stream. That was such a good time. And then I did a review, which I had a really good time doing that, and I was just super hyped for End of Dragons and going back to Cantha, and it was our first look at all those things. That was really cool. Then I did a tips and tricks video for you guys, which people are like actively still watching. I see people going to it all the time. I do get comments on it every so often, which is cool. I really enjoyed that video, and I don't do very many like guides and stuff, and I don't do that type of stuff. There's so many YouTubers out there that do such a great job. You know, my friend Chicken Nooble, like over on his channel, he does like so many good videos on like beginner guides and like what to do and stuff. It's really cool over there. So if you guys want to see any type of content like that, check his channel out. Then I had, so this is the second part to the Deep Sea Dragon Theory. I had more Deep Sea Dragon theories where I went into minions and stuff, like you know, the champion, what could be the herald of the Deep Sea Dragon, like all these things, like where I have the theory about like 2 dragons existing instead of 1, and we talked about the yin and yang and all these things. It was really cool. I think just showing you guys the enemies that you could encounter in the Jade Sea was really cool because there's some really interesting enemies in there and like the models and stuff, and I really hope that ArenaNet will look at that and really lean on the lore that they have made. You know, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Then the next thing is the Lore Mystery Bits series. So I started a little series of 2 to 3 minute videos talking about mysteries in the lore that we have, and the first one was the Marjorie's weapons, which we talked about the weapons that are on the wallpaper that they released with the first look stuff, where Marjorie's actually not wielding her greatsword, but she's actually wielding her axe in focus, which is something we haven't seen since season 2. So that was very surprising to me, and I thought it was worth making an episode about that. So that was my very first episode. The second one was Oreen Scions. I wanted to start a discussion about what if Oreen has children herself, which I think is an interesting subject that we will probably get a lot more information going into soon. You know, coming with End of Dragons, I think maybe that's something that we will look at, you know, having her lay eggs or something if she absorbs enough magic or something. I don't know. That would be really cool to see that. The next video was supposed to be originally a Lore Mystery Bit series, but it ended up being the subject that I really wanted to like deep dive into, which was the Urgos and the Wardens video. And that actually had like a huge reception. Like people were really excited about that, and people were like, this is the stuff that I'm looking for, you know, and it was super fun to make it. I love talking about the Echowild Forest, and I can't wait to go back, and it looks really cool, and I love that kind of lore. You know, I'm huge on the lore and stuff, and talking about those things is just really interesting, especially Urgos, who has, like I said in the video, has like these similarities with with the pale tree. It's just really cool. Next up was the Lore Mystery Bits episode 3, talking about E, which is still, I think, a super relevant character, something that I really hope ArenaNet will go back to. That is a person of interest that I really wish that we will get an answer to soon, because it's something that has just been a mystery since season 1, right? And it's just huge, and it would just be interesting to see that come back. Then the next video was the Lore Mystery Bits 4, which was the Scepter of Ore. Kind of talked about the mystery, where it is at, what's going on with it. Lore Mystery Bits episode 5 was a discussion about whose mother, which of course again kind of is just this huge lore thing, right? And it's like probably goes back to like the existence of like everything and like magic in the world. Like that's a huge thing, right? So that was really crazy. Then I had finally finished my new player guide on the action camera, which is something that I play with all the time. I love the action camera. I've talked about the action camera, and I've showed some people the action camera, and it led to me actually making a video about it because people were like really interested to hear about that stuff. So I really hope that people still watch that video and learn about the action camera, because I think it's something that really needs to be pointed out. Next up was the Lore Mystery Bits episode 6, which was the Crypts Beneath Divinity's Reach, something that I personally don't think we're ever gonna really see. I think ArenaNet really focuses on like the larger scale stuff, like going to new countries and going to new continents and that sort of thing, rather than going like, oh, let's discover like what's beneath here, you know, that type of thing. Like, oh, there's one secret dungeon that we can explore or something, you know. It's like it might pop up here and there, and I feel like the area they kind of talk about in the crypts, like that kind of appeared in season 3 with the hideout of the Shining Blade and stuff, but you know, who knows. Next up was the Lore Mystery Bits episode 7, which was the Dominion of Winds, which I think will become relevant. I recently replayed the Dragon Response mission where we meet Calidris Sparrowhawk, and it just kind of seems like they're hinting at maybe eventually we're gonna go in there, and it'd just be really cool to see that. And maybe we're gonna see it with End of Dragons. Maybe they're gonna be like, hey, by the way, you're not just gonna get Cantha, but you're also gonna be able to actually see she called it the Eerie, which I thought it was always the Airy, but you know, either way, whatever. Next up, I had the Elementalist Staff rework idea, and that was really cool. I really had, you know, I talk about this all the time where I wish ArenaNet would just really look at reworking a lot of weapons, and I think the response on that particular video was like huge, and I think it got people thinking, or hopefully it did. I hope people didn't think to be ignorant and just say, oh, I don't care what this guy has to say, and just pass it up, but really make them think about like what we could have, what, you know, how things could be or whatever. And that's the pretty much one of the main points that I make videos, is I want to make people think about certain things, you know, just kind of start discussions on this kind of stuff. So next up was Lore Mystery Bits episode 8, which was the Wizard's Tower, and that's talking about the floating tower out in Kryta. You know, once again, that's been a mystery, and the developers have made jokes about that for so many years now that it's kind of become old, and I wish they would just do something with it just to kind of get that out of the way. But someone had a good point, because they said like they kind of don't want to see that become like a thing, because they love having that as like this like everlasting mystery. Like no one ever knows what's going on with that, which I kind of can see that being kind of cool too. You know, I'm not against that. I think that's a pretty good idea too. Next up is the Xingji Island tour in Guild Wars 1. So I did a tour of Xingji Island in Guild Wars 1, which was really cool. That video was so much fun to make, going back to like Xingji Island and using all those little points of interest, you know, the little name markers and stuff, like going around and just the landmarks and stuff and seeing those. That was really cool, and that was right before they actually did the Xingji Island thing. Next up was the Lore Mystery Bits episode 9, which was actually the last one I have made so far, because I don't have really anything. Once again, I talked about this before, Iceberg Saga kind of was a self-contained lore thing, so there isn't like very many mysteries out there right now to talk about. And that was Balthazar and Lissa was that episode, and kind of talked about what their connection could be. Next up was the actual review of the Xingji Island stream that they did, and like my impressions and stuff, kind of talking about what I thought about. And I think I got like pretty negative like feedback on that, so I kind of stopped doing those because people just kind of gave me like a lot of dislikes. So I was like, I guess that's, people don't want to see that, or people don't really care if I have like some negative, I don't really think I had like negative comments on it, but it was just something where I was like, I feel like the reception wasn't that great, even if it was just like all negative. I feel like there wasn't just that many people watching, so I kind of wanted to just step away and say, you know what, it's fine, we'll just not do those. Next up was the history of the Tengu. Going into End of Dragons, you know, Tengu are going to be huge, like we've seen this, right? And after the Xingji Island review, I really wanted to talk about the Tengu, so I ended up making this video where I took all the stuff they had on the wiki and made it into video, you know, read off all the stuff they had, and I love that type of stuff. It's really cool. I'm not a great reader, I'm not really good with that stuff, I'm not good with words, guys. Even though I make videos, it's kind of like being a hypocrite almost in a way. It's like an oxymoron, like, oh, he's a YouTuber, you know, but he doesn't know how to read properly. I don't know, it's a thing, whatever. Next up is the beta and elite specialization review. That was for the first beta that we had, and my elite specialization, again, a lot of like negative reviews on it, which was weird because I actually had like a lot of positive things to say. So again, I was kind of strange, not sure what was going on there, but you know, it's the internet, who knows. Next up was the history of the human gods, which a lot of people are watching this. Actually, I was surprised at first. I didn't think people were watching it, but it's got over like 100 views, which last I checked it only had like 30 views. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's some traction, there's some people watching that, so that's cool. And then we had the Equivald Forest tour. I did a tour in Guild Wars 1, which I think that video was like the craziest to make because the areas in the Equivald Forest are huge. There's so much to do, so there was so much cutting out that I had to do to make that video work. Next up, I had the theory on Grenth and the Scepter of Ore, and I made this little theory, and you guys know I love my theories and I love talking about the lore, and I kind of combined everything that I had in the Scepter of Ore lore mystery bits episode with the stuff that I had talking about the human gods, and kind of put those together and was like, let's make a theory on both of those things kind of mixed together type of deal. Next up was the Jade Sea. So we did a tour in the Jade Sea, which kind of was actually a little bit less work than the Equivald Forest, I want to say, but it still was like a ton of work. Those areas in Ghost 1 are humongous and fun though. You know, it's really fun to go back through those old maps and see all those things that they made back then. Really cool stuff. Then we get to like more recent stuff. I had taken like a little break in between there, and then I made a quality of life improvements and fixes. So kind of talking about the things that I want to see changed in the game, and that was kind of fun to do because again, we kind of talked about the reworks, and I talked about the little things that I want to see. Like I talked about poison, for example, which I think really needs an update and stuff. And then recently I had the 7 fractal concepts. I came up with a list of concepts for fractals that I want to see, like lore stuff and so on, and I made a list of that. And then recently I kind of cut out from my stream a subscription rant talking about subscription models I could see, because I wanted to make a video on that, but I had this like hour-long rant on my stream, and I was like, why can't I just cut that together into like a video and then just like post that? And I did that. I was like, you know, maybe it's a little bit different, it's a lot less work, it's very easy for me to get that out there, and maybe I'll get the same kind of response, who knows. So that was pretty much all the videos, and overall I gotta say there's a ton of videos. I know a lot of like the 9 lore mystery bits episodes were very short, but for like a lot, I didn't even think I had that many videos, but that's a lot of videos for a whole year. I think for someone that's like not an actual, like, I don't make money with this, so I think that was a lot of stuff for you guys to watch. So super happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed all those videos too. Of course there's more to come. Of course there's way too many opinions in my head. Are you kidding? So next up, let's talk about the current stuff that we're doing, which is actually not a lot. So currently we're doing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, which I actually played through the main game just recently. We had finished beating Cynthia, which was a little bit annoying, but we actually got through it. All the Elite Four and the champion, like we did it, right? It was like awesome. I was super happy. And then I tried to do a little bit of the like post game, and then we kind of got hung up on like not being able to like finish or like go through. So I don't know if I'm gonna go back to that, but that was just the last stream, so I kind of wanted to mention that. I don't know if I'm gonna go, I kind of want to do Pokemon Unite right now, guys, because we just recently got the update. Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon, so I haven't played it yet, so I kind of maybe want to do that on stream, so maybe we'll go back to that. And I guess you will know this before this video comes out because I will be streaming already, and I don't think I'll get this video out before I stream. And then we have the Guild Wars 2 Tamer Challenge going on, which is really cool. I love making challenges for Guild Wars 2, especially since I've played through it like probably 100 times by now. I've leveled characters to 80. I've played through all the maps, and it's just cool to make challenges. And this is a really fun challenge where I kind of want to run through, and there's more challenges that I want to do with you guys. I want to do like a first person challenge. I want to do like those types of things. So, but yeah, let's talk about that in a minute. So that's pretty much the current stuff. Other than that, there's really not anything else that I have currently going on that is like huge in production or anything like that. Kind of the end of the year, there's a lot of personal things that I want to get done around here, around my house and stuff. And once all that's completed, we'll ramp up into the new year, and let's talk about that. So preview for 2022, guys. Let's talk about live streams first, okay? Let's talk about what I'm gonna stream for you guys, what we want to see. So I just mentioned Guild Wars 2 challenge runs. So I will probably continue making challenge runs, but I will say that with End of Dragons coming out, that is my priority. Okay, once End of Dragons comes out, I will be taking off probably all of that week. It'll probably come out on a Tuesday, so I'll be streaming that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and probably that Sunday. So it'll be that week that I'll be streaming all week long right here on YouTube, and we'll see how much we can get through, how much extra content there is, achievements to do. Like I said before, I will not rush it. I will not rush through the story. I will take my time. I will explore each map, each area, each outpost. I'll talk to like all the NPCs, like take everything in and just take our time with it and really enjoy it, because I did the mistake with Path of Fire where I like kind of rushed through all the maps, and then over the years I kind of had to like backtrack and be like, oh, let me actually explore these maps. Let me actually look at what's going on in the maps. Let me actually see, you know, what the desert is all about now. And it just kind of felt crappy because by the time I did that, most people had already moved on, and it was just, it didn't feel really good. So I kind of want to do it the right way. I want to go in and I really want to like take it all in, take my time with it. This is not going to be like a let's get through it to the end as fast as we can. If we can get through it by the end of Sunday, that would be great, right? But that gives us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to kind of play all of it. And I'll probably be starting like in the afternoon and then playing for like 5-6 hours with you guys. And yeah, and that's going to be my streaming week, and I probably won't be streaming that Monday or Tuesday to just kind of like take some time off or whatever. But that's going to be the big thing. All of the new streaming stuff will be starting in February. All of the big releases, I will say this, all the big releases that I'm waiting on are coming out in February. Like there's like 4 things, and I've talked about this. So that is the one thing that's coming out. The other thing is Elden Ring. I've been talking about this game for a long time. I've been getting back into the From Software stuff. I've been playing Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, you know, and that game looks really cool, and I want to play with you guys. So I'll be streaming it, and if you guys want to join me on like these dungeons or however this works, the like co-op part of it or whatever, we'll definitely do that. So I'm really excited for that. I'll be playing through the whole game, I'm guessing, and that'll be like a weekly stream. I'll probably do that like every Monday or every Tuesday or something like that, and we'll go through that game. Then the next one is Pokemon Legends Arceus. That'll take the place of our Sunday stream, because we usually do like Pokemon stuff on Sundays, and I really enjoy the Pokemon stuff because like I've said before, it's made for kids, so it's a very relaxing, like there's not a lot of like thinking really you have to do. The dialogue isn't complicated. There aren't like all these things that are happening and you have to like pay attention to everything, whatever. It's, you know, it's not a like a weird convoluted plot, but it's just this game you can play, it's fun, whatever. And I'm expecting Arceus to be the same way. So we're gonna play Pokemon Legends Arceus, and we're gonna have a good time with that. However many streams that's gonna take. It's a Pokemon game. I don't think it's gonna take me that long to play through it, so it'll be like a month or 2 of us playing through that. I'm guessing it's anywhere between 6 to 8 episodes of streaming, probably. I'm guessing, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it's a really long game, maybe entices you to do stuff after post-game stuff or whatever, so we'll see how it goes. And then the other one that I've somewhat put on the back burner is Lost Ark, because I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna fit this in. I'm gonna be playing it whether I'm doing it on stream or not, but it's a game that I've been looking forward to since it first released a long time ago, but now we're getting the actual port in North America, which is super exciting, and we get, you know, in English and stuff. And I did play the betas and I had a good time with it, and I do want to play it because I do like isometric games and I miss playing like Diablo and stuff like that. So that's the type of game I really want to get into, and I'll fit those in. Like if Pokemon Legends Arceus doesn't take me a long time to play through, then I will replace that with Lost Ark, you know, I'll just, once I'm finished with it, I'll play Lost Ark or something. Or, you know, same if like I get really bored of End of Dragons and there's really nothing to do and there's no like replayability and there's nothing like no achievements that I really want to go for, we'll do that on a Tuesday and we'll just kind of kick Guild Wars off for a little bit until we get like a new season, Living World season or something. We'll see, somewhere I'll fit that in there, but those are pretty much live streams you can kind of look forward to. And like I said, we'll probably do other challenge runs. If I can't get the Tamer challenge done, we'll eventually go back to that as well. But yeah, those are pretty much the live streams that I'm looking for the early year. Of course, there's going to be a ton more as the year goes on, a ton more games that are going to come out, a ton more updates to older games probably, and yeah, we'll play those as well, of course. Alright, next up is the playthroughs that I want to do, and I have talked about these quite a bit on my streams. So the first one, of course, I've been talking about this for months, is the Legend of Dragoon playthrough. In my recent stream, I talked about this. I already told you guys that everything is ready to go on that. I have set up everything, so recording will be starting really shortly for me on this, and yeah, and I'll be releasing this probably like once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on how many episodes I can get done. The problem with the other two playthroughs was that doing an episode every day in the Digimon World 2003 playthrough was really hectic for me, and then the Grandia one, like I said before, I kind of felt disconnected from it because it was like months after I'd played it that the last episode kind of came out, and I was like, didn't really care for it anymore because I'd like already moved on. I feel like even emotionally in a weird way. So it was just kind of like So I'm gonna do them like episode wise. I'm gonna do like an episode a week or two if I can get it done, and I'll record them and then upload them so that I'm like pretty much I play with you guys through it. So like every week you guys will be up to date on pretty much where I am, and it's not like, oh, I finished playing through the game and I'm uploading them now one by one, you know. So I'm kind of doing that. Of course, I'm trying to like, you know, I'm new to all of this. I'm trying to figure out really what I want to do with it and how I'm going to do it, but I think that's probably the best approach for me. Then I'm going to do a playthrough of Child of Light, which was requested by one of my friends, and he really wanted to see me play through that, so I will be doing a playthrough. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't think it's going to be taking me too long to play through, but that's a really cute game and I haven't played it since it came out, and I like that type of stuff, right? It's a kind of like more simpler RPG with like these magical aspects to it. It's like this like storybook thing. It's really cool and I love it. It's really cute, and I remember the story was just like very emotional and it's really cool, so I can't wait for that. And then we have Crusader of Senti / Soleil. So this is a Sega Genesis game that was called Soleil in Europe, I believe, and then Crusader of Senti in North America. I'll probably be playing the North American version, so it'll be Crusader of Senti. Now that game is almost like a Zelda type of game where you're like a character that goes around and you get little animals and they help you, and it's just such a cool story, and the music is really good and it's very memorable and nostalgic for me, and it's something that I've really loved as a game. I really enjoyed that game, and I think bringing it back, it's a hidden gem. Not a lot of people talk about that game, and I really want to bring that to the forefront. So we kind of, I want to say for the playthroughs, I've kind of picked different eras and different time periods and different consoles and different like type of games, right? They're all RPGs pretty much, but Legend of Dragoon being like the competitor to like Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation, you know, and then we have Child of Light, which is more of like an indie game from the more recent years, and then we have Crusader of Senti, which was like early, you know, 16-bit era. So we kind of like are stretching across like all kinds of different eras, different kinds of games, which I think is really cool. So we're not like concentrating on like one console or one era or whatever, you know, we're kind of spreading around and there are different games. And I do want to point out that they all say like one thing of something else. It's Legend of Dragoon, Child of Light, and Crusader of Senti, which I thought was kind of weird. Okay, just want to point that out. So, but that's the playthroughs. And then videos that I have planned so far, there isn't that many because I'm kind of waiting to see, as we're playing the games, what kind of videos to make and what people want to see and what discussions I want to talk about, right? I do have 3 videos that I have planned right now. Of course, the one being Kaining City and doing a tour of that in Guild Wars 1, because that is going to be a stream that's coming up shortly. In Guild Wars 2. Like I said, with all the other areas I've done it, I want to do the same thing here because I think that the Guild Wars community deserves that, and I want to do that for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy that type of stuff. So I will be doing that. Then next up is something that I've talked about a little bit, but it's going to be a video on Pokemon variants, and it's something that I've worked on for a couple of weeks now. I have like a script down, I have some pictures that I've already like looked at that I want to do, and it's a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now, but I haven't really gotten the time to. But I want to do that. And then there's a Zelda video that I kind of have thought about doing, and I kind of want to do that. So the purpose of these 2 videos is to kind of branch out. Guild Wars 2 specifically has kind of put me in this corner where I do niche content and then people don't watch it because it's very niche content and people don't really watch this type of stuff when it comes to Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2, people look for how to farm certain things, how to make money, how to make builds. Like that sort of stuff is what's popular on YouTube for Guild Wars 2. So I'm kind of in this spot where I'm trying to grow the channel, but it's really hard with doing it with videos on just Guild Wars 2. So I'm kind of spread out, kind of seeing, like dipping my toes in different areas of the gaming community and seeing what sticks. And I want to do a couple of bigger ones, right? So Zelda being a huge franchise and Pokemon being a huge franchise. And we'll be doing other stuff too. You know, whatever comes to mind. Like I said, maybe something Elden Ring. I'm really thinking about like doing a deep dive into the lore there because again, it's from software, so everything is convoluted and weird. So that's kind of nice to kind of go there and you can make your own theories about all kinds of stuff or whatever. But yeah, so, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have planned for the next, all I have planned. It sounds like actually pretty much a lot, you know, and this is pretty much more of like a early 2022 stuff, right? I feel like this is going to be January, February, March, and then coming April, we'll probably already be talking about a bunch of other games, a bunch of other stuff that's going on, other releases, things that are coming out in the summer, fall, whatever. So, but that's pretty much what I have planned for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little look. I will have some pictures for you guys with the games that I talk about, like, you know, the playthroughs that I want to do and the videos that I want to make and like that type of stuff. I'll have some pictures, you know, the live streams I want to do and stuff. And yeah, and I hope you guys will join me in 2022 to have like a good time and grow the channel. And I will at the end here tell you guys the Discord server is still up. We are not super active right now because a lot of people are just busy doing live stuff, and that happens, you know, that's a thing, right? So we all have lives, we all have things to do, but I will say that I still have that there for you guys to come and hang out with us and have a good time. And I will say that if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it. If you made it this far through the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching all of that. And of course, I would love for you guys to subscribe to see more stuff, and let me know what you guys think. Let me know how your guys' year was. Let me know if you guys have any great goals that you want to accomplish, whether it's in a game or in your private life or whatever. And if you don't want to spout it out to where the world can read it, you can always message me on Discord. I love when I get messages from you guys, when people message me or want to hang out with me in game or whatever. You know, we have people, like we have a guild in Guild Wars 2, so everyone is more than welcome to join us, and we'll be super active once End of Dragons comes out because that's the majority of the Discord server. But we play all kinds of other stuff, so if you guys want to join us, go ahead. The link is down below. And there's also, I have added my friend code for Nintendo Switch, so if you guys want to be my friends on that, we can do that as well. But that's gonna be it. The video is long enough. I don't want to keep everyone. I appreciate it very much. I hope you guys had a great year, and I hope that your guys' start into the next year is gonna be really good, and keep all the positive stuff going. You know, world is pretty dark, but stay positive, guys. I wish everyone the best, and you know, here's for a good year. I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.